We got a lot of rain coming. Sadly, I've got to put my top, both panels back on and the doors because we've got about 2 weeks of rain. And so this is about the only time I've got to do it. We're gonna attempt this. I've done it before, but I have no helper. So I'm gonna put the top back on by myself. Now, typically, I never get help taking the top off. I do it solo, and I store my top on a couple of these little X folding workbench things that you find in like body shops and whatnot. And they've got a little foam padding on it. I'm gonna get some pool noodles and probably go around it one more time just because it needs a little bit more cushion. But anyway, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna get under it, bring it to the vehicle. It's kind of difficult to set up and stab the holes. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gently try to lower it to these thick pieces of cardboard, get it maneuvered into place from the sides, and you know, because I don't want to completely knacker my painted surfaces. That drives me nuts. But I should be able to do it. Same process as taking it off. And I see a lot of videos where people will show the process of taking it all apart. To me, the hardest part of it is putting it back together. So we're gonna put the top back on, especially the back portion here, tighten it all up, and then we'll put the doors on, and I'll show you my process for doing that. And again, all of it solo. So I realize a lot of you do not have some really cool lever system to suspend your thing and do it, or have one of those tools that hydraulically assist it for you to safely do it. So again, do this at your own risk. I would hate for you to attempt this and break something. It's not light, and it's not like it's an easy feat. So I'll just get that out of the way. So if you're you have a hard time lifting something over your head or anything like that, you may want to just wait and get some help. I decided that I've done it this way before, just to give it a little extra layer of something. The way that the top's made, this will keep the pins well up off the ground. I can kind of push it back where it needs to be, like with this, and then when I have it lined up, I can just work from the sides and then drop it down in the pins. I'm gonna do it this way just to keep from putting more scuffs on my painted pieces. Here goes. Success. Truth be told, I've got a torn rotator cuff, torn labrum. The old right arm doesn't go up. So if I can do it, you can do it. But again, don't come blame me if something goes wrong. So get you a friend, because these things are not cheap. All right, there is a good reason why you want to have a game plan when you go to put that on here, if you don't want to just tear up the painted surface, because the top's pretty heavy and those are just hard plastic and they get kind of rough. You can see the imprint that left. So you want to have a couple of layers of protection. I like to use thick cardboard and rolled up towels. They work exceptionally well. All right, now you should have stored your hardware in your Raptor bag or in your Bronco bag. So we're gonna need the supplied ratchet. All right, we're gonna take the socket off. We have to get, all right, so you're gonna need your T50 socket for this. There are, let's see, there's 4 on the lower side on each side, so that's 8. And then 1 per on the top portion up there, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So you'll have a total of 10 of these specific Torx head bolts. All right, I normally will put, I'll start them off with just a little hand tight. So all I'm doing with the ratchet is just the final torquing it down. All right, before we get completely carried away and start tightening those down, probably would be a good idea at this point to go ahead and hand tighten the 2 at the top. So let's go do that now. Oh, Dirt Dauber tried to. All right, and typically how I'll do this, I'll go ahead and now that I've got these started and I know that they're gonna go in, I will tighten these down first and then we'll tighten the rest. Just making sure again that you have your top all the way down. Sometimes you wanna give it a little bit of pressure because if you don't have a good seal here, you're gonna leak. It has a tendency to sort of get a little bit loose over time, so while we're up here, I'm gonna go around, tighten this other side, and then we'll do these 8 bolts that are down here. No need to film that, but you will want to make sure that you get those fairly tight. Not over tightened, but you know, take it down as far as you can, and then give it about a quarter turn after that. As you want to be extra careful, especially on these inner pieces. If you get wild with your ratchet, swinging it, you know, don't get so crazy with it that you crack your glass. I mean, glass is pretty resilient, but if you hit it just right on a hot day or something, it can explode, so be mindful of that. All right, step 1 is complete. Probably gonna leave the 2 middle panels off real quick. We're gonna go ahead and at this point, we'll do the doors so we don't have to contend with anything else while we're working on that. Not that they really get in the way, but it just feels a little bit more spacious when you don't have that extra lip around the side here. All right, guys, I normally will start with the front, but for video's purpose here, I think it'll be a little bit easier for me to start at the back, just to check camera angles and everything, because I want to make sure that as I drop this into place, that it's in frame. So let's try that first, and I may have to get kind of creative with it to have more of a coming straight down look at it when we get to the front, but who knows. All right, let me grab one of these passenger doors and we'll get one of these things started. Passenger side, I mean the rear doors are much easier to install than the driver's side. So let's set one of these on there real quick and hopefully it's an easy process. Okay, so what we're gonna try to do, there's a loop on the door. You try to go around this, and then your upper portion is also going to saddle on here as well. So here goes. All right, so I know I'm blocking that completely, but so you shoot for here, you get this top part. You want to watch down here at the bottom, because if you're not careful, you're going to start grinding into your rocker panel. And you have to come all the way wide open, still lined up here at the bottom, and then it will actually seat. But contrary to what you would think, you would need it back here to seat. It doesn't. It doesn't seat until it's out here. And then when you go to put your bolts and stuff in, you got to get it really, really tight or it'll pop. So I'm just saying, so to get it to actually saddle here and drop down, because it's going to be up a little high, when you first put this here, it's hard to line up, because you won't be really watching this edge of your door to make sure it doesn't dig in to your rocker panel at the bottom. And the door has to be at its full width before it'll line up and drop on that bottom pin. All right, now with the door in place, we're gonna put those in. All right, in order to mount these, the smaller bolt will go on the bottom. The longer bolt will go in this way to this top portion here. And we're gonna be using our 13mm socket. Let's get it started so we don't have to fight it so much. All right. And they also include, which I just didn't put in there, but they include a, for that portion that's hard to get, to keep you from digging into your rocker panel. They do include this, which just helps hold it in place until it pivots around and then drops on, and then you can pull it right off. So I'll make sure we use that on the next door. It's hard to get that really where you need it tight, because it'll buckle when you shut it if you don't have it right. So let's listen. I got a little bit of noise, but not very much, so it just needs just a little bit more. All right. Yep. All right, so we're gonna want to make sure that we line the door right here with those. Just put the fatter side on the outside so I can get to it. Put one kind of down low and one about here. Will protect your this one's a little bit tighter, so put that there to catch that one. Then we have our 2 bolts here. All right, let's give you a little bit better look at how we're going to drop this in here. And there it goes. All right. Sorry I couldn't get the whole thing. I didn't have enough room, and then I didn't have enough hands, and I really don't want to screw these doors up. All right, now we got to get that this plugged up, that screw back in, and then maybe with one of these remaining 2 doors, I can catch that actually how it sits on there. And my God, I'm a wreck. Jesus. All right. Success. Whew, man, it's hot. All right, so all we got to do now is we've got the doors on. We've got to unzip our J-Tops mesh bimini cover and put the middle top on and then the front too. And we have done this completely by ourselves without any help. And let me tell you, I think I got it done just in time because it seriously looks like it could rain at any time. So gotta hurry. Now before we forget, we've got to unhook here. Do this with one hand, which is extremely difficult. All right, you just want to make sure that you hear it click, and we'll get this in there too. This is a whole lot easier without that bimini top, but it still can be done. With the bimini top installed, you're gonna have to reach up in here and flip that to lock here. And then we'll go around, lock the other side, lock the middle, and then get these up, these forward two latches to pull that down. Almost there. Got it. All right. All right, with our J-Tops, we're gonna have to undo here. Undo here. Here. All right, there we go. So now we're ready to put our other two panels on. All right, you want to make sure to take your two edge protectors, your little locator, and put it back in your Bronco toolkit. And if you anal people, if that drives you nuts, deal with it. All right, zip that back up and get it back in the glove box. And guys, that is quickly and easily back together. I might have fibbed a little bit there. I think that took me probably about an hour and 20 minutes, honestly. But you know, when you're trying to film and do that without messing anything up, sometimes it takes longer than you think. Anyhow, there it is, back together. Doors, top, everything. It can't be done 100% solo, as I just proved. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions about something that I might have missed doing this install, let me know. If there's something that you think I need to address with the Raptor in general, let me know about that. If you're wanting to know why I'm making Bronco Raptor content and not something to do with my 4Runner or my Land Rover, roast me in the comments. Please leave us a comment, give us a like, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.